While the COVID-19 pandemic did start to wane through 2021, the arrival of the new Omicron strain in late 2021 has resulted in a sudden surge of cases the world over, and the restrictions and safety measures are beginning to reappear. As schools start to reopen, all necessary precautions must be taken on school premises and in students' lives to keep them safe. School administrators, teachers, and staff play a key role in planning and executing these safety measures correctly, while making sure that the time lost through almost all of 2020-21 does not affect the education and skills that the children imbibe. Establish rules on school premises according to the guidelines of the Health Ministry. Common examples include: maintain a distance of at least 1 meter, increase spaces between desks, stagger common times like lunch breaks, or have lunch at own desks, possibly eliminate common activities like sports lessons and physical education. For now, use varied start and end timings so that crowds are reduced and managed better. Establish non-crowding rules during school pickup and drop-off times and locations. Put up markings, signs, barriers, barricades, etc., to control crowd flows, distances, queues, etc. Use outdoor spaces for classes wherever possible. Advise students not to socialize or mill around in groups during common activities, for example, while exiting or entering school premises. Creating a list of do's and don'ts along with students will be most beneficial. This experience is new for everyone, especially for children, and they need to be instructed carefully and caringly. Carefully think through physical movements for students, teachers, and staff. Create a list of guidelines about desk arrangements, distancing rules, common activity guidelines, for example breaks, lunchtime rules. Hand washing is the most effective way of preventing the spread of the infection. It is cheap, easy, and can be done as often as required. Teach students to regularly wash their hands, apply hand sanitizers, for example, while entering/exiting classrooms when having touched surfaces, for example staircase banisters, laptops, books, etc. If sufficient sinks and water aren't available as required in the school, then using a hand sanitizer, must have 60% alcohol, must be mandatory. Schools must provide convenient hand washing/sanitizing stations at several locations, for example exits, entrances, near toilets, cafeterias, etc. Teach students to cough or sneeze into their arms. If by mistake, they do so into their hands, palms, then teach them to wash or sanitize hands immediately. Dispose of tissues that they sneeze/cough into. Teach students to avoid touching their nose, mouth, and eyes, since these three body parts are where the virus enters. There is always a risk. Establish a daily ritual on hygiene. Go over it with the children for a few minutes every day. Establish a point system, and award students points every time they wash/sanitize their hands. Announce weekly/monthly winners. Have students make posters about hand and hygiene for hallways and classrooms. Establish procedures for daily temperature screening a few times during the day. Everyday surfaces and items such as desks, doorknobs, staircase surfaces, elevator buttons and handles, phones, countertops, faucets, phones, computers, toys, etc., that are touched during daily school activities must be cleaned at regular intervals during the day, regardless of whether they appear soiled or not. Usage of gloves, proper disinfectant fluids, the now famous sanitizer, as well as all other appropriate precautions for cleaning and disinfecting surfaces must be followed. Designate cleaning cycles, i.e. times during the day when cleaning is conducted. Schedule school activities and movements accordingly. Establish rules for avoiding surfaces that are high risk, for example stairway railings. Display these rules prominently on charts and bulletin boards. Create some fun activity around these rules for the kids, for example impromptu classroom tests asking them how many sanitation rules they can recall. Reward them with something fun. Use quality disinfectants, cleaning products, gloves, and eye protection while cleaning. Parents must ensure school clothes are washed/disinfected appropriately every day. Ensure adequate ventilation and air circulation within school premises. If the classrooms are air-conditioned, consider not using/eliminating air conditioners for the time being, since air circulation is extremely important. The virus hangs in the air for a while, and with the Omicron virus transmitting itself faster than earlier variants, it is even more important to air out closed environments. Identifying Omicron symptoms. The most commonly reported symptoms of the Omicron variant appear to be a runny nose, fatigue, headache, cold-like symptoms such as a sore throat and sneezing. As compared to earlier variants, Omicron symptoms appear to be very mild, or often asymptomatic. Designate areas within school premises where the child, or staff members, teachers, etc., can be isolated if they begin displaying symptoms during school hours. Make sure it is done with sensitivity. There should be no stigma attached to it, or done with a sense of disregard or vindication. The designated area should be well ventilated, and preferably have 1 to 2 full-time healthcare professionals. The symptomatic children should wait here in isolation till someone from their family fetches them. Thoroughly disinfect and sanitize the room thereafter. Based on the situation, the children/staff could be sent directly to a hospital. Make this procedure commonly known via charts and bulletin boards. The pandemic has resulted in a new paradigm of life, commonly referred to as the new normal. However, children's education is extremely important, and the sooner they can resume regular classes, the better it is for their education as well as their all-round development. Therefore, as they start returning to schools, adequate measures for classroom safety and for a safe commute must be maintained.